Hello, what's up? My name is Raj, and I've been a CDL driver since like July of this year, and I got my CDL this year in February, and this is my first year trucking, and I just came from work. Um, I'm like, you know what? It's been a minute. I've been telling people, hey, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video today. So, I'm gonna explain what it takes to get a CDL and what you need to learn, what you need to do, pass, whatever it takes basically to get the CDL. It's not too much. When you're starting and you don't know anything, it looks like a bunch, but I'm gonna try to hopefully simple it down because I'm always an overthinker. So hopefully me explaining it will make someone a little more at ease. Thing I also forgot to mention is that you're gonna need to go to a trucking school in the state of California. No more like, oh, my dad's a trucker, my pop's a trucker, I got a trucker friend. No, you need to go to the school. That's California just made it legal. It's just because it's a safety thing. So first of all, if you want to get a CDL, there's a couple ways to get it. You can go through the government, and you can go to your local job corp or something like that, and you can apply, and it takes months, but then you can get free funding. I was about to go to a $7,000 trucking school, and the thing is that I was gonna get it fully paid, but I would have to wait for the government to give me that money, and the government takes a long time with paperwork. So I waited like 3 months, and then they told me they ran out of their trucking fund, and I'm like, I need to get this CDL straight up. So I pulled out like 2 credit cards, and my school cost me 3,200 or like 3,500, something like that. But and it's not a small amount for sure. I had to pull out 2 credit cards for that. But they range from anywhere from 700 to 7,000, as you just heard me say. But averaging a good school, I would say like $2,000 to $3,000. It's not too bad. You can ask someone for help. You can go pull some credit cards out. Screw it. It's gonna be changing your life. I started my school, and my instructor told me that this is gonna change your life. And I've been, I'm a driver. I've always been a driver, but this is also, you know, changed the way I look at driving in the world a little bit. Not a lot though. So first of all, you're gonna be 18 years old if you want to drive. Get your CDL, you can do that, but you're only gonna be intrastate. I just learned this right now. I'm trying to make sure it's kind of like a up-to-date video. If you want to be interstate, which means all over the U.S., intrastate means in the state you're in, but interstate, 21 and up, then you'll be able to go all across the United States and be that trucker or whatever your goals are. That's what we imagine when we think of truckers. They're all on the road all over the U.S. And then so then you're gonna do a health and medical and a drug test. All right. So the health and medical is easy. I recommend going to the school. You're gonna sign up and you ask them about this stuff. Hey, so you guys have a health and medical. Hey, I also forgot to mention one more thing. Depending on the school you choose, the price does vary a lot on some specific things. So one very big example is how much time does it take to rent out the truck? If I fail the driving portion of the test, we'll have to pay again for the truck. Do I have to pay for fuel? Do I have to pay for the hour? If I pay a flat price, will I be able to use the truck as many times as I want? Even if I fail, will I be able to come back and use the truck again? So you need to also talk to the school about that kind of stuff, because my school covered it. If I were to fail, I could do it again and again and again. Other schools, I heard they're like sometimes 200, sometimes 700, sometimes they just ask for the cost of fuel and renting the truck. So it's different, but don't forget to ask schools about that. A clinic that you guys go to that you guys recommend, and they probably will. My school recommended me the health and medical, and I went to one. It was pretty simple for me, but you're gonna have to get one, basically, a drug test and a health and medical. So I passed my drug test. I studied super hard for that one, and the health and medical, they just make sure your knees, that you're in good health, that you're able to do what you need to do. You're basically fit to be a trucker, right? Yeah, it's gonna be like a couple pages long, but there's like one main page, and as soon as you get your permit to be a CDL driver, you're gonna get something that looks like that. It looks like this. I just made it a little fancy. You can make it into a little card so I can just keep it in my wallet. Once you get your medical, you get your drug tests, then you can take your permit, and your school's gonna tell you you're still gonna have to take a permit. You don't need to drive with a permit. You're just gonna get your combination vehicle, air brakes, and general knowledge test. After you get those 3 studied for, you go to the DMV, you take the test, you got your permit. The same thing as getting a normal license permit. You go, you study, you go there, take the test, and you got your permit. You're able to drive that vehicle now. So same thing with Class A vehicles. As soon as you get your permit, you're now a Class A holder. My instructor told me that means if you get a ticket, basically double, you're gonna have to be more careful on the road. If you get in any accident, it's your fault. Since you're a CDL driver, you're gonna have to, it's your job to make sure that people on the road are safe and that you're driving safely, and you're not gonna. So just be a good driver. This is why it changes your life a little bit, because you just need to change the way you move through the world. No more road rage. You can rage a little bit, but no emotions on that. Anyways, so now that you got your health and medical drug test and you got your permit and you're in your school, now that you're in school, you're gonna do, I believe it's like a theory thing. I was in my classroom with all the other students and we all took it together. And you're basically, everything after that point when you get your permit, your school will just kind of hold your hand and you're gonna walk through with them. That's how I had it for my school, and I was very happy. I just did my theory. Then they're gonna teach you the pre-trip, and it changes every year, I believe, or every couple of years, pretty often, honestly. And you're gonna learn the air brake test and the driving test. So the pre-trip, I have my tractor trailer combination right here. You're not gonna drive a big old truck. I like a 30-foot trailer, I believe, in my school. But the thing is, for the pre-trip, you're just gonna, make sure there's no liquids underneath, your lights are clear, all the lights. Basically, you're just checking this whole truck and making sure it's fine. The tires are there, the lug nuts are there, they're tight. There's not a rust, there's no cracks everywhere, there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. You're gonna have to learn all this wordage, but it's not a lot. You think it's a lot. You know what? 2 years, 3 years ago, maybe, or 4 years, who cares? A couple years ago, the people who were taking the CDL test had to memorize 270 items for you to become a CDL holder. More than just abrasions, bulges, cuts, and leaks, cracks, blah, 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 blah. No, this is nothing. What we're doing right now, easy to get a CDL. They had to memorize like almost 4 times the amount. And you're going to keep, talking about the safety of the vehicle all the way to the end of the trailer, to the very end. And that is for your pre-trip now, but in the past it was way more difficult. So don't think, oh, it's too much for me to memorize. Bro, we're truck drivers. Bro, you're not a doctor. Just go learn about the truck and go do your pre-trip. Then you're gonna do your air brakes. It's also a little overwhelming because my teachers were pretty strict, because some instructors that do take your test to get you the license, you're there, you make an appointment, they might be very strict. So I don't remember exactly how it is, but basically you're gonna turn it on, make sure the governor cuts off, that your tanks are filled. You're gonna do a leakage test. It doesn't leak, great. You're gonna do a tug test. You're gonna move forward. It's pretty simple. You just have to practice it about like 10-20 times, and it's okay to fail. Same thing with the pre-trip. You're gonna be practicing a lot, but look what I did. I bought this thing for like 10 bucks, and I'll just be at my other old job, and I'll just be like, lights clear, da da da. No abrasion, bulges, cuts, or leaks, da da da, and boom. You can honestly study for this in 2 weeks and get your CDL if you're really serious. If you're very scared, because I am an overthinker and I'm very scared, I just did for 3 months. I worked my normal job, and then I also did the schooling. And over time, I had enough knowledge. And when I did my test, I was like congratulated by the instructor. The guy was like, bro, you're gonna be a great trucker on the road. I'm very grateful to be able to give you this license. Congratulations on your new career. And I was like, brother, ooh, great feeling. 3 months of work. Even though it was 3 months, I had some people in my school, they were there for a month. Some were 2 weeks. They were like, I know enough. I'm on to the next thing. I need to get this job. I need to go. I'm like, shit, bro, not me. I need to make sure I can drive this big ass truck and not fucking. I'm Indian, bro. You already know the stereotype. I ain't trying to be one of them. But it's not that hard, honestly. What else can I tell you about my experience? Just because you go to school doesn't mean you're guaranteed a job. Just because you go to college doesn't mean you're gonna get a job. Just because you go to trucking school doesn't mean you're gonna get a job easy. And guess what? I'm a soda trucker, and it took me 6 months to get this job. Endless applying, nothing, going in person, not enough experience. I became a FedEx driver, and I'm driving Class C trucks. Like, bruh, I'm here to drive Class A, and I was very lucky. Talk to your friends, talk to your friends' friends, talk to your friends' dads and moms, and just talk around, because the way I got my job was word of mouth, and then I was able to get in through a connection. and I'm so grateful. It took me from February all the way to July to get my job, for a CDL job, and now it's November, and oh my God, I've been a trucker for that long. It's been a great experience, and I just love driving. Every single day I wake up, I turn on the engine. It's such a loud, beautiful chugga 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 chugga, and I just hear that turbo. I floor it. I hear that turbo. I go to great places, and I'm a local trucker too, so I'm not away from home. This is my setup. I don't want to be too far away from it, so you know what I'm saying? I get to hear that turbo whistle every day. I get to go to the mountains. I get to go to my local neighborhood. I got to go to the north and the south and a couple other little farm cities, and I'm just living the life in my opinion. I just finished paying off all my debt. I finished paying off my trucking school stuff. I'm finally money positive. It's been a minute, and I'm just grateful to be here. So if you want to be a CDL trucker and you have any questions about the experience I'm in California, let me know. Don't be scared to reach out. The drug test is not scary. The health exam is not scary. The test is, nothing is scary. Just let me know what you need in info about, and I'm here to answer your questions. I'm Roger Rishu's Cars, and you can find me on Instagram. Let me know. Let's get some more truckers up in the USA, and let's make this bag, bro. Welcome. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm so grateful here. I'm so grateful. Look at this shit, bro. I'm looking blue collar, dude. Blue collar.